co-president of the Women's March. I'm here with Kristin Mink, and I'm bringing Kristin up because we never do this alone. It's important to understand that the Women's March is not just for women, it's not just 70 women, it's not just thousands of women, it's millions of women and everything we've all done since January 21st, 2017. And a lot of that has been done this year in the halls of Congress. I know that Kristin and I, and many of you in the audience, were occupying the heart building of the Senate for 34 days in September and October. And while we didn't ultimately cancel Kavanaugh, we were told by both the left and the right when we started that this was a non-issue, that it was a non-starter, it wasn't worth our time, that there wasn't going to be funding for it, that nobody cared. And we still got out there and we made it an issue. Because women's rights are an issue that is worth fighting for every single day. And the rights of survivors are an issue, regardless of gender, that are worth fighting for every single day. And fight we did. And I also wanted to share a story from Kristin because she showed what just one person can do. Because it's great when we have millions out there. But I also want to make sure everyone in the audience knows that it also just takes one.
Hi, my name's Kristin Mink. Bob asked me to come up here.
I put her on the spot. Sorry about that.
I was the mom who confronted Scott Pruit a while ago, back in the spring. And I think it's very important to say that I was but one very, very tiny nail in the coffin that Scott Pruit really built himself. But really had been the work of so many activists and nonprofit organizations since the beginning of his tenure who've been working to take him down. You know, from Sierra Club to the Working Families Party and so many others. So when I got to you know, tell him to his face how corrupt and terrible he was and how much we all disliked him and how he should resign, you know, I think he was already feeling so much pressure. The administration was already feeling so much pressure from all the work that had been done by so many activists on the ground. And so I think that moment spoke to a lot of people because it goes to show that what can feel like a pretty mundane conversation, a pretty mundane moment, your moment, can actually be a part of a spark, can be a part of a bigger thing. So seize those moments. And it was part of something that launched me into meeting people like Bob and getting involved with the Women's March and so many other organizations and getting to see that action on the ground and feel that power. We all come here and it's great to have these conversations in rooms like this, and I think that that's crucial for helping to keep us going, to bring us together. But what matters is that we carry that energy out into the streets, that we carry it into the halls of Congress, that we carry it into restaurants, into our workplaces, everywhere we go, that we seize those opportunities, that we make people see our faces, that we make people hear our voices. The Women's March, you can tell how powerful it is because if you look on social media, you will see that the bots have gone crazy trying to cause division, to sow these seeds of division, and planting these seeds of discontent that are just not there. They're just not there. And I think it goes to show how powerful these organizations are, these grassroots organizations have become. So that's how you know that you need to get involved, to get your body out there on the line when you can. I know that so many of you do that. I'm really preaching to the choir here. But, but it's so important to get out there, to stay strong, to stay united. And I think keeping that idea of unity in mind as we move into considering who's going to be our next presidential candidate, that we don't spend our time tearing down other Democrats, that we spend our time saying who we like and why, and remind ourselves who the real enemy is. And it's not the Democrats. Thank you.
Thank you. And to that end, we have a march coming up. So a lot of people said after January 21st, like, wow, you know, that was history. You made history. It's over. You know? But the very next week, we were out at the airports with so many organizations protesting the Muslim ban. And then 2 weeks after that, for International Women's Strike, we were out with a Day Without a Woman. We actually lost people over that, by the way. It's amazing how far we've come in the last 2 years that from that, people were like, no, we already did it. We don't want to do anything else. This is distracting. I've got stuff to do. And, you know, and then we lost a few people, and then we gained even more people. And then we did the next action. We did NRA to DOJ, where we marched from the NRA to DOJ. And we actually had gun violence prevention groups be like, you're not allowed to name the NRA. Stop doing that. And we actually got pushback. We also got pushback for, you know, what's it called? Criticizing the FOP. And it was like, wow, really? Really? We can't talk about police brutality when we talk about gun violence prevention?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know? And it was the beginning of something, you know? Because we gotta have these hard conversations. We gotta have them with our congresspeople. We gotta have them with each other.
Yeah.
We gotta have them at home. We gotta have them at work. We gotta have them at school. And we've gotta have them on January 19th, 2019, which is coming up in just 2 weeks. We're gonna show up again in Washington, D.C. and over 270 sister marches all across the country. And the beautiful thing about this march is, guess what? We don't need 1 million people at this march. We need dedicated people who want to come together with other people, whether they agree with them or not on every single subject. What we've been saying over the last 2 years is that unity is not uniformity. And it can't be. This movement is too diverse. We need people like CODEPINK and other peace organizations to be speaking to us, to be challenging us, to be challenging other people who may not agree with them. And the only way we can do that is in public. We need pro-Palestinian organizations and people to get out there and stand toe-to-toe with Zionists, to stand toe-to-toe with all sorts of folks from all sorts, like, heck, I even have evangelical family members that I'm having this conversation with right now, you know? And we need to hold all of us accountable for the ways that white supremacy hurts Black communities, hurts Jewish communities, hurts our immigrant communities, and hurts so many others. And we need to have those conversations in spaces like the Women's March. We also need to show Donald Trump that his problems are just beginning. That this administration is effectively over, starting today, and then continuing January 19th, and continuing to 2020. Because the truth is, when women come into leadership, we all win. And we're seeing this with this new freshman class, and we're going to continue to see this, particularly when we center women of color. I think we saw that with Stacey Abrams. I think we're seeing that all over the country right now with this most diverse Congress, and it can only get better from here. So I hope that you all join us for the Women's Wave on January 19th, 2019. And even if you choose not to join us that day, I want you all to think about, what way can I show up to support women in my community? What way can I be the best feminist I possibly can? And some of that way will be criticizing our movements, some of it will be criticizing our politicians, some of us will be criticizing our leaders, and then some of it will also be coming up with solutions to those problems and communicating those solutions in effective ways out of love and out of real care. And we need a lot of that in 2019. I think we all suffered a lot in 2018. I don't know about you, but 2018 was a really painful year for us at Women's March. And it's something that we need to all come together and bring love to our communities in order for us to heal together. And I know we can do it. So thank you so much.